To Be Hero X, Episode 5, One Actor. And let me tell you, this is one heck of a performance. So let's talk about it. Welcome back, you variants. We are talking about To Be Hero X, Episode 5. And man, this show is so good. Like, each episode is hitting on all cylinders. I'm very much enjoying this. All right, so we had a cliffhanger from the last episode, and to be honest, episode 5 of To Be Hero X takes a bold turn, like not forward, but backwards in time. So instead of answering the cliffhanger from the previous episode, it actually takes us to the past, where we dive more into the past of characters, peeling back layers and figuring out what's going on with Isol, as well as this new figure, Yang Cheng. So the episode opens in what is 20 years after the commission, which the commission, I assume, is, when all this To Be Hero kind of stuff started happening. And it opens with a gunfight in an alleyway where this young character, Yang, has lost his parents. At some point in time, these thugs, took out his parents, and Isol showed up to take them out. This emotional moment plants seeds for Yang to want to be a hero, and it's just kind of how the setup goes. Like, he has an admiration for the hero who just saved his life, as well as saved countless other lives. So now that he sees his hero front and center in front of him, and granted his parents weren't saved, he was saved. That's something for him to look up to. Like, this is something I have to hold on to. And he's an orphan now, so you got that Batman-esque kind of theme going on. We're gonna fast forward into 16 years later, where Yang is a young shy student, looks like, and he is having this crush on Jia Cheng and dreams of becoming a real hero. Like, this is kind of his passion in life. His attempts at romance are awkward but earnest. Like, he's trying to figure it out as he's going. Like, he's just stumbling over himself and just can't really get it to land. But his latest effort is to get the concert tickets for someone named Lucky Cyan, a singer who Ja is very much, interested in. Unfortunately, as he's working with her, his plans are derailed because of this other guy that shows up, Shang Chao, which don't really know if they have a kind of love interest thing going on, but he seems to just to show up and kind of messes up the flow as he was trying to get it out. So of course Yang ends up, I got a last minute gig, I'm gonna take off and go take care of this. And he actually plays Isol in a stage show for children. So he takes off to go do the show, and he finds out that he's not gonna get paid for it, but there's a chance because there's a rep out in the audience who is, I guess, recruiting Isol actors for a 34th anniversary event of Isol, because he's been doing hero work for like 34 years. So yeah, we want to get people who love Isol, who act like him and stuff like that, to do something with their performance. So, but even with this, the way that he performs Isol, he doesn't do it just for the paycheck. He does it as a way of reconnecting with Isol. Like, this is a piece of his past, and his passion is real, even though his performance is outdated, as he's called out by a young kid named Pomelo. This kid, does do his best to let him know, like, hey, your classic performance is great. Stop trying to be like all these other Isol actors with all the flashy lights and all this other stuff. Like, be you, and it works. So very, very insightful from this young kid. But this unexpected connection, helps bring Yang closer to Pomelo and probably Ja without actually realizing it, because again, she wants him to be Pomelo's friend. And while she doesn't see Yang, she only sees the Isol actor because he keeps his helmet on the entire time. She's like, he needs a friend. He's always in the house. He's not doing things. Like, I would love for you to be his friend and, just hang out with him. And she's like, I'll pay you. And he's like, it's not necessary. Like, I'll do it. This is a way for him to not only, get to know someone who also loves Esol like he does, but it can also help him figure some stuff out and work on his craft. But he also has a chance to try to reconnect with Ja, again, and hopefully not be interrupted this time. And Pablo is very insightful. Like he knows that, hey, you like my sister, and I won't spill the beans as long as you take me to the anniversary event with you and give me some bubble tea. I was like, yeah, sounds about right. But even with this, Yang's dream doesn't necessarily go to plan, because while he's trying to work on his costume, he's having issues with the lights and like they're kind of overloading and stuff like that. He ends up going to the performance and puts on a heck of a performance. Again, he's in the top 3, but he gets eliminated due to a 0 trust ranking, something that he has reflected on and has been part of his life ever since he lost his parents. He's had that 0 trust ranking. It's a clever twist that feels almost like heroic karma. It's like he doesn't know what to do with it, and he's frustrated. He's trying to figure it out. He doesn't really know what to do. And we end up having some delivery guys who were delivering for his mentor, the owner of the place who does the show. They end up, not doing what they're supposed to do, getting a bunch of complaints, so they got fired. But they end up coming back in the end because they get a call from a mysterious voice who's like, hey, I got a delivery for you. This will set you up for the rest of your life. And what ends up happening is they've been hired to kidnap Pomelo. It's like, what? Wow, what's going on here? So they end up, having to kidnap the kid and trying to escape because whatever the mysterious voice said. Now, while this is going on, stuff like you see everything with Yang, who he's in his Esol costume when the kidnapping happened. He's in his Esol costume. He's sitting there talking to Pomelo, and because they weren't going to keep the bargain and he's walking off, he sees it all happen and actually gets hit in the process. So he gives chase to the best of his ability. Like he's on a bicycle, like he's chasing a van. And granted, the van's having some mechanical issues, he's still keeping up. He keeps up enough to where he dives off an overpass and lands onto the van to stop them from getting away. And he goes to rescue Pomelo and get him out of there. And he's protecting Pomelo with his body as he's getting hit with wrenches, crowbars, hammers, and everything else. And he has to fight back. He's got to figure out how to fight back, what he can do to save Pomelo, but also himself in his process. Now, even with all this being said, he starts having these flashbacks of his past, of how people used to bully him and, saying he wasn't going to be nothing. We saw there's a scene early in the episode where, again, he had another chance to talk to Ja, and he failed to talk to her because Xiao was freaking involved in several different instances throughout the show, throughout this episode. Xiao was the one who was part of the judging panel for judging his performance to be one of the persons at the anniversary event. Xiao also was one who, when they finally had a conversation, had a moment alone where Ja and Yang could actually talk and try to get, hey, ask about the tickets or whatever the case may be. She actually asked him, would you want to go to the concert? And he ended up denying that because even though they had a text conversation where he told her that, yeah, I listened to her too. And that's why she was looking confused when he said no, because the tickets were offered by Xiao. They were offered by freaking, Shang Chang. And it's definitely something that got me frustrated. It's like, why does the dude keep showing up? Like, and I'm butchering the names I know. Like, why does the dude keep showing up? He keeps interjecting in every single part. Like, what is the deal with him? So he's all off his game. And like, this episode was so emotional. And while he's still getting his butt beat by these two guys who kidnapped Pomelo, we actually see Esol having the anniversary event. He's giving the entire speech about how everything with him has been about, service and hiding behind the mask. He's never shown his face, because, it's all about the mask, the identity, his fear of loss. He doesn't want to lose anyone, and his fear of losing people is one of the reasons why he wears the mask. If you don't know who I am, you can't get to my people. None of that. So it all makes sense. So all this is going on. We see that Yang tries to get a second win and fight back and is still struggling. And it's not until Pomelo calls out to him and says that I believe in you, that freaking you can do it, all this stuff, that his trust factor shoots up from 0 to 1 in a very episode. Like 0 to 1 has never been so important in all this time freaking of this show. So that it's always about, oh, this trust rank higher, whatever. This is 0 to 1. This is where it starts. You get the trust of that one person, and that set a fire off in him. Like he went to scrapping and he fought these dudes off. He managed to defeat them and get Pomelo back to his sister. It was absolutely fantastic with the way this turned out. And even with all this, you know, it was like he's still willing to walk away and not reveal himself to the sister once, you know, he brought Pomelo back. And it wasn't until she asked, like, you know, we got to get you help, we got to do something, whatever. And he's finally like, you know what? He's got a renewed sense of faith in himself. He feels a little bit more confident, whatever the case may be. He takes off his helmet. He's getting ready to reveal himself. And then guess what happens? Shang shows up again. And I am absolutely floored. Like, what is with this dude? Why is he here? What is going on? Turns out Shang is not there to see Ja. He's there to see Yang. And I was like, what do you mean you're there to see Yang? Shang is there to see Yang. Now you got to remember, this is where the episode cuts out. He was there on the committee. He offered the tickets and stuff for them to go to the concert. He was there with several lists of internships when he's turning in his paperwork earlier. Like, there's a bunch of different things going on where Shang has just been there in the background, just keeps showing up. So why is Shang showing up now to talk to this guy? Now, remember, there's some people that were on the bridge filming, I guess, or recording or live streaming. I think most of this stuff is going to be live stream because that's how you get your trust factor up, is when people are live seeing all this kind of stuff. But yeah, like, we still don't know a whole lot about Isol and what's happening with this character. Now, when we saw that Yang was rejected, the person who rejected him looked like, okay, that's probably Isol, and the hair, just from it, looked like the hair of the mentor, the owner of the shop. So I think that he's Isol, and he may be kind of waiting for him to, you know, have some confidence in himself and get that trust rank up to where maybe he can pass on the mantle. Because the way his speech went, it seemed like he was kind of tired. Like, I've been doing this for 34 years. That was very, very prevalent with, he's been doing this for 34 years. So it's like, it would make sense that after 35 years, like, he retires, he's going to continue to train or whatever the case may be. So maybe after 35 years, he's going to retire and stop being Isol, and a new Isol can come into play. Because we see that all these heroes are all a marketing tool. Your powers they manifest based off of your trust rank. So if somebody's trust rank can be improved, then we can get you more powers, get you more abilities, whatever the case may be. And the look of Isol who wears a mask, and they trust in Isol because of who Isol is. And they've always said, like they've shown in there, the costume has changed over the years, which means has the actor, so to speak, in the Isol costume, because they're all actors more or less, has that person been the same over the years? Is this Isol the same one that, you know, saved him when he was younger? All right, so, and that was, again, years ago. Like, what was it was like 20 years after commissions when all this stuff happened. 16 years later is when we saw that, you know, Yang is growing up and doing stuff. So what about the 16 years before that? Was it the same person playing Isol, or was it a different person playing Isol? Because when the kid mentions that your choreography is, you know, 5 years behind, the backgrounds are 10 years behind, freaking the costume 20 years, whatever, like all the stuff's behind, is like, okay, going through different costumes and iterations and stuff like that is standard for any hero, but also could mean a switch of personalities behind the hero. So it's like, okay, well, if it's a masked character, you can put anybody in the suit like that. It's like freaking you can if you have the Iron Man suit and stuff like that, and you put put Rhodey in it, right? No one's gonna know the difference right off the bat. They're looking at the suit, so that. Now, of course, your actions, your mannerisms, all that stuff may be different, so with that, which may give some clue to that. But again, when your trust rank is where it is because of the persona that's being perceived, does it really matter at that point? It's like immediately once he puts on the suits and he goes out, so that he's doing all the stuff, his trust rank is going to go up. It's going to be his. So what happens to the other person who was doing it? Does it have to like swap? Does that person have to, for lack of a better term, expire before that switches over? Or is it something that can be shared congruently because they, still think that this is like, I don't know, like how this stuff works exactly. But either way, it's got my attention. And we don't even know what the deal is with Esol, because now I'm sitting here thinking about it. It's like that person that did what they did to Moon, as far as we know. But we've seen this happen with Moon before. Moon, we saw a visual of Moon. It looked like she was done, but she was up and around the next day, and we don't know what the deal was. At least I don't. So more or less, same thing could happen. But if somebody just goes and puts on the suit, then we can have a problem. Because if anybody goes and puts on, again, you saw it, freaking somebody puts on Iron Patriot suit and runs around and start doing all the bad things, then perception. This is what I see. You don't know who's in that thing. You don't know who's doing what. So these were my questions and stuff lie. This show is really good. Like, I can't get enough of this. And this is supposed to be, I think, 24 episodes, I believe. So by all means, please make sure you hit the little subscribe button. Stick with me. This is really, really good. So if you're not watching it, watch it. If you're just here, just kind of roaming in, I spoiled it for you. Sorry, hey, that's what this is. I'm going to talk about it, and I need you to start getting other people on it because this is a really good show. It's dubbed, it's subbed. I watch it in both every single time it comes on. Go check it out, and I will catch you guys in the next one.